Hi, I'm Mr. Rizzo, one of the counselors here at the high school, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the scheduling process for the upcoming school year. I know that we're only about halfway, not even quite halfway through this school year, but counselors will be meeting with students sometime soon to start planning out your courses for next year. So, with that said, here's the information that you need to know. Today, we're going to cover the scheduling timeline. We're going to go over the importance of course selection. We'll talk a little bit about changing courses, which of course you guys know that you can't do after the end of the first marking period. We'll talk about odds and ends, and then I'll show you how to select your courses in Naviance. We will be using Naviance to select courses again this year, but how it's going to work is we want you guys to have selected your courses in the Naviance program, but then we will meet with you through your English class. So your English class is going to come down to the guidance office at some point, and then counselors will meet with you individually to go over graduation requirements, to see where you're at, kind of do a quick graduation check, and then we will go over your courses that you'd like to take. And again, we want you to have selected the courses first in Naviance, and then we will review those courses with you. Scheduling is not done on a first come, first served basis. So keep in mind that if you're scheduling a couple of days ahead of your friend, if your friend is scheduling a couple of days ahead of you, you don't need to worry about them getting into the classes ahead of you. All right, it's not a first come, first served kind of thing. What we do is we meet with all students individually. We tally up all of the course requests, and then we give those requests to administration. And at that point, that's when Mr. Smith and the rest of the administrative team decides how many sections of each course are going to run. All right, and that's all based on student interest. So if a lot of students sign up, course is probably going to run. If 2 students sign up, course probably is not going to run. If you do have a course that ends up being canceled, we'll let you know about that sometime in late May, and you'll be given an opportunity to make a new selection. Then over the summer, we will create what's called the master schedule, and then from there, it's possible that some classes might not fit together. All the puzzle pieces of your individual schedule might not quite fit together, and if that's the case, that means you've got a scheduling conflict. And if so, your counselor will reach out to you sometime in late July or August, and we'll give you an opportunity to make a new selection or try to resolve the conflict somehow. And then finally, the schedules will be released in late August. So that's the general timeline for scheduling. Now, as far as the course selection process goes, we want you guys to set yourselves up for life after high school with the schedule that you're taking here. All right. So if you're going to be going to college after high school, great. You should take classes that are going to prepare you for college. If you've got some career or the military that you think that you're going to be entering into when you leave high school, we want you to take classes that are going to set you up for that, whatever that might be. All right. We want you to take courses that are going to be an appropriately challenging course load for you. So you should kind of stretch your academic limits a little bit, but you want to make sure that they're not stretched so far that you're on the verge of snapping. All right, that's absolutely not what we want. So find something that's going to be the toughest schedule that you are capable of succeeding in. That's what we want you to do. And just to kind of keep in mind, strength of schedule and performance in that schedule is absolutely the most important factor when it comes to college admission. So if you're thinking about college after high school, which I know that many of you will be, you want to take an appropriately rigorous schedule, and that is going to be the most important factor when it comes to college admission. Not SAT score or anything like that. It's going to be the schedule that you've taken, how rigorous it is, and how well you've done in that. So you want to try and strike a nice balance. You don't want to take 5 AP classes if maybe you're really only capable of succeeding in 2. But the converse of that is absolutely true. You don't want to take 1 AP course if you're maybe capable of succeeding in 3. So find that appropriately rigorous schedule. All right. The way to do that is going to be talking to your friends, family, teachers, counselors. Gather as much information as you can about what maybe a course was like, about what was good for some of your older friends or relatives. But keep in mind that one person's experience is not going to be identical to your experience. So everybody's a little bit individual. All right. Make sure that you're not just maybe taking a course because, well, your friend said that that's what you should do. All right. Make sure that you're taking the courses that you want to take, but try to gather as much information about them as you can. Also, talk to your parents about what their expectations are for you for next year. They are certainly partners in this, and you want to make sure that you get what their perspective is. So make sure that you talk to your parents about it, but also consider the other outside factors that are going to play into this. All right. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you guys do need to make sure that you are getting some sleep here somewhere in there. So, you've got to figure out what's going to be a realistic expectation about your time and how to spend your time. If you've got, 3 sports after school, if you've got a job, or if you've got childcare responsibilities for younger siblings, think about that in addition to the academics. All right, we know that academics are important. We think that academics are kind of one of the primary factors that you guys should be thinking about in life right now. But it's not the only thing. All right, you should have some time built in for some of the fun stuff that goes on here at Clarence High School, whether that's attending football, basketball games, whether that's going to some of the pep rally stuff, like all of that stuff that we want you guys to be involved in. So make sure that you're leaving yourself some time for some of those outside of school activities, whether it's just a fun extracurricular or whether it's a job that maybe you need to have. So take all of that stuff into consideration when you are thinking about your classes for next year. All right. Now, when it comes to course changes, you cannot change courses once the first marking period ends. So after the end of the first marking period, you are in those classes. All right. And if you do happen to change levels prior to the end of the first quarter, that exit grade will follow you to the next class, to the new class. So keep that in mind as you're kind of working through things. All right. The other thing, requests for specific teachers. We've got fantastic teachers here at Clarence. I think a lot of you have developed really good relationships with those teachers and might want to have them in the future. But unfortunately, we're not able to do that for every single student. So we're not able to take specific teacher requests. Also, if you're going to be a senior, early release is something that many of you have probably been looking forward to for quite a while, and that's a good thing, but it's not guaranteed. We'll make every effort to try to get you all of the release periods that you're requesting, but don't make a commitment until you actually receive your schedule in August, because it's possible that one of the classes that you really wanted to take ends up, say, 8th period, and you were hoping to get out after 7th. So, then you'll have a difficult decision. Do you want to take that course, or do you want to get the release? So don't make any commitments until you actually receive your schedule. All right. And then also morning phys ed. So morning phys ed is available to juniors and seniors, but it's kind of got some limits on it. So if you're a junior taking Harkness or a junior with a completely full schedule, then you're eligible. A senior, if you are interested in taking morning phys ed, then you can't be taking more than 2 periods of release. So if you're taking 1 or 2 periods of release, then you're eligible for morning phys ed. So those are some of the basic things that I wanted to cover as far as scheduling goes. The first thing that we'll get to as far as Naviance, though, as far as how to do that, is how to log in. So we're going to go to clever.clarenceschools.org. That's probably the easiest way for you guys to log in. And the way to do that is by opening that up on your Chromebook. Open up any web browser, and then click on the home button right here, and then it'll take you to Clever. You'll go through the Google login, the Google authentication, which should be pretty familiar to you guys, and then you'll log in as a student, and then from there you'll be able to click on Naviance. All right, so that's how to access Naviance, how to get there. Then once you're in, this is what it's going to look like. And what you'll do is go to courses. You'll go to explore the course catalog, actually. Oh no, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Logged me out, so unfortunately I had to pause the recording. So this is the main login screen when you get to Naviance. This is what you'll see once you've logged in. But you're going to go to, there's lots of great stuff in Naviance, but for our purposes, we're going to go to courses, and then you can explore the course catalog here. So all of the courses are listed. You can sort them by subject area. You can sort them by grade level. And then once you click on one of the classes, a description will come up over here off to the right. So a lot of information here. But once you've kind of got a good idea on what you'd like to take, then you'll be able to create a course plan. Now, just by, say, favoriting a course, that doesn't mean that you've selected it. So you'll go to Manage Course Plans. This is what you're going to need to do prior to meeting with your counselor. So again, Manage Course Plans. And if you created a plan last year, it's going to be right here. Unfortunately, all of this year's classes and last year's classes haven't kind of rolled into this plan. It's not, unfortunately, a live updating thing. So what you'll do is you'll use the plus button and you'll create another plan. You'll select this plan right here. And if you're a ninth grader or a transfer student and haven't done this in the past, you'll create a new plan. But for most students, you're just going to copy courses from the existing plan, and then you're going to click Continue. You can skip this step and just kind of jump right into the course selection process, and it's taken just a second here. All right, and this is what it's going to look like. So if you are a current junior, it's going to show your ninth grade classes in green, and then your current in progress classes here in, I don't know, whatever this is, tannish yellow kind of thing. And then you will be able to select classes for next year by going to each one of these areas. All right, each one of these subject areas, you click the Edit Courses button and say, I want to take Super Reading and Writing next year. I'll save this change, and then it's going to pop up right here. Say I want to take math next year, which of course everybody should want to take math. Their freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. And say I want to take pre-calculus. Unfortunately, I've got to go to the next page. I'll take pre-calc, and then I'll select 12th grade, and then you just add the course to the plan. All right, so add in all of the core academic classes here, and then down here, if you wanted to add in lunch for sorry, clearly I can't do two things at the same time. If you want to add lunch in for next year, you'll just select the grade level and then add that to the plan. And then likewise for seniors, you can add release as well. So those are all the things that that you can add in. Again, we want you guys to do this before you come and meet with your counselor. But just know that if there is any issue that kind of comes up, if you make a mistake, don't worry, we can fix it. It's not that big of a deal. But once you've got all the courses selected, you'll click Make This My Current Plan. Then you'll click Submit for approval. And once that happens, the counselor will be able to approve the plan or then reopen it. Once we approve it, you won't be able to go in and make changes to it, but it's still pretty easy. All you need to do is let the counselor know that you'd like to make a change. We can reopen the plan, and we'll make sure that that change gets made. So I hope this has been I hope this has been the information that you guys need to be able to create a good schedule for yourselves for next year. Again, we will ask you to do this ahead of our meeting with you, but then we'll meet with you and go over all this individually. Okay, I think that's about it. Happy scheduling, everybody. Take care.